Part 191. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1901. This trick, don't be too obvious. Wave after wave of yelling, isn't it just to mobilize people's hearts? What purpose can there be besides these? Everyone's eyes focused on this, and their expressions became more and more treacherous. If you can't understand this routine, then it's really useless. Everyone just quietly watched Tai Shuqian, the godson of the Light Alliance Temple, performing without saying anything, just watching. It's absolutely fine to listen to your speech, but if you want to make us work hard, it's basically impossible. This is the main premise. Brothers of the Light Alliance Temple. Brothers of the Dark Temple. Brothers of Genji Shenzong. Brothers of the Pure Sun Kingdom. Brothers of the Red Feather Kingdom. Kill. Kill Fang Fan. Revenge. Revenge. Tai Shuqian, the godson of the Temple of the Light Alliance, took the lead in launching the attack. The slogan was shouted extremely loudly, but it had no effect. Everyone's eyes focused on this, and then they shrugged their shoulders, their expressions becoming more and more dull. At this moment, not to mention the practitioners of other forces, even the practitioners of the Temple of the Light Alliance seemed to be lacking in interest. If you want to go up by yourself. Boss Fang Fan is so strong, what are you doing up there? Do you want to die? It was said before that Boss Fang Fan has the fruit of God in his hand, so it's fine to attack a wave, but now he doesn't have God in his hand as a result. Even if he is put on the ground, what can he do? What benefits can it bring? Really, no brains at all. It's just, I admired him before, but now I suddenly feel that he wants to be my home in the Temple of the Alliance of Light. Is he worthy? Obviously, he doesn't have the qualifications at all. Anyway, I don't want to fight against Big Boss Fang Fan. Whoever of you wants to die, go for it. Haha, let His Royal Highness go by himself, or let his direct descendants go, wouldn't that be good? We're here to stay, and I feel very happy, and I don't feel any pressure at all. That's right, that's the reason. But if we don't obey His Royal Highness's order, what if he executes the punishment on us? This guy is very cruel. Cruel? What are you going to do? If you're messing with labor and management, go and seek refuge with Fang Fan. The scene once seemed extremely embarrassing. The screams of the Son of God in the Temple of the Alliance of Light can be heard endlessly, but no one wants to talk to him at all, or in other words, they don't want to talk to him at all. It's completely a mentality of looking at a fool, nothing more than that. Now only his absolute confidants and direct descendants are shouting for support. But there can't be too many people. Tai Shuqian, the Son of God of the Alliance of Light, suddenly looked dark as water, and sure enough, as soon as Fang Fan came, he felt that nothing good happened, and now everything has come true. Thinking of this, Tai Shuqian's eyes became more and more hot and crazy. Fang Fan must be my worst enemy. The existence of this person will definitely bring me more disasters. We must cut the weeds and get rid of the roots, and get rid of him as soon as possible. Otherwise the original good situation will completely collapse. With his existence, I can't do anything good at all. Now even the people in the Temple of the Alliance of Light are shaken. He is my worst enemy. No matter what, I must win the majority of the 9 divine fruits in front of me. I must be the biggest winner. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1902. Tai Shuqian, the Son of God of the Alliance of Light Temple, was thinking in his heart, and sharp rays of light flickered in his eyes. At this moment, he has completely regarded Fang Fan as a thorn in his flesh, an existence that must be removed. Thinking of this, Tai Shuqian became more and more anxious. And at this moment, the fruit of God in front of him is about to ripen again. Great Uncle Kyung. Fang Fan let out an indifferent cry, and then walked forward casually. The smile on the corner of his mouth was very real. You can't get out of the ruins of the gods anymore, your death is already doomed. Fang Fan bared his teeth and grinned, very genuinely. While talking, he continued to walk forward. At this moment, the distance between him and Tai Shuqian was getting closer. You, what are you going to do? You, don't come here, I warn you not to be impulsive, don't let yourself regret. Get out, don't come over. Tai Shuqian, the godson of the Temple of the Light Alliance, was speaking, and there was more or less a murderous intent in his eyes. Apart from the murderous intent, it was more panic at the moment. You don't even have the guts to face me, I don't know where you got the courage. Extremely ridiculous. Fang Fan sneered, and the Zhantian sword in his hand danced around in the air, and then made a series of trembling sounds. Tai Shuqian, the godson of the Alliance of Light Temple, turned blue and red. Slap in the face naked. Now I feel inexplicably that my face is swollen. Now I'm afraid everyone is watching his jokes and trying to ridicule him. Thinking of this, Tai Shuqian's eyes became sharper. In his opinion, Fang Fan is the biggest disaster. If he doesn't get rid of this scourge, he will feel uneasy. Even the overall situation will collapse immediately. The 9 god fruits that are about to mature must have nothing to do with him. Thinking of this, Tai Shuqian's body trembled unnaturally, and the sound of breathing gradually became rapid. Thinking of this in her heart at this moment, all kinds of thoughts are churning. God Sun Haishan, Goddess Huangfu, King Kilian, and King Jug of Chunyang Kingdom, are you really going to stand by and watch? You have seen Fang Fan's fighting power before. With him here, how much do you think we can get these fruits of God? Won't he plunder them all by then? Is the situation you would like to see then? I think you still have to think about it carefully. If you want to take the fruit of God, you have to get rid of Fang Fan, otherwise, he. Tai Shuqian, the godson of the Temple of the Light Alliance, directly pointed all the blame at Fang Fan, because he felt that Fang Fan was the biggest variable, and wanted to completely end Fang Fan. Say 1,000 words and 10,000 words, all have such thinking and ideas. At this moment, the expressions of the cultivators of the major forces have more or less changed. From their point of view, it's not that they haven't considered this issue. After all, the combat power of the major legions under Fang Fan's command is too strong, which to some extent brought them a sense of horror from the heart. They will feel scared and afraid, so they want to kill them. Execute. Faced with the temptation of the fruit of God, few people can remain calm. At this moment, everyone's eyes gradually focused on Fang Fan, and their expressions were inexplicably throbbing. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1903. You don't need to be so nervous. You guys can be nervous, I'm glad. This shows that I am still very deterrent in your hearts, which makes me very relieved. Fang Fan glanced around, then said with a smile. However, I think I can help you stop this pressure and make you feel lighter. Well, you all step aside, don't do anything and don't worry about it. I will attack this Uncle Kyung in the Temple of the Light Alliance later, the kind that will never die. When the time comes when we fight between Snipe and Clam, we will definitely damage each other or even seriously injure each other. Wouldn't this make you feel at ease? After all, apart from me, the Grand Uncle Kyung of the Temple of the Light Alliance is the one with the greatest voice and the strongest strength among you. I think you all know the specific situation. If our 2 strongest forces collapse, you will have a chance to rise and take off, won't you? Fang Fan looked at the whole army, and then said with a smile. As soon as he said that, he basically showed his cards. Everyone looked at each other, and then their eyes lit up, and they all felt that Fang Fan's suggestion seemed quite good. Anyway, no matter how you say it, the existence of Fang Fan and Tai Shuqian has brought them a great threat. If the two of them can lose both, wouldn't the two most competitive opponents simply disappear? This is of great benefit to the next situation of snatching the fruit of God. I agree. You beat yourselves, you deal with your grievances yourself, and our Akabane kingdom will not get involved. Qi Lian, the king of the Akabane kingdom, raised his lips silently, and then said secretly, this guy has completely shown his treacherous side, and his essence is like this. King Kilian, we have reached a covenant before, you help me take the fruit of the gods, and then I will help you unify the relics of the gods, you don't mean anything. Tai Shuqian, the son of the god of the Alliance of Light, turned ugly for a while. The speed of this change made him unexpected, and at the same time, he inexplicably felt a sense of anger from the bottom of his heart. How can you do this? Why did the situation collapse to this point? Speaking is nothing, it should be you. What does this matter have to do with me? I'm afraid Taisha Shenzi was fooling me from the very beginning. If everyone is safe and sound, it will be fine. With the sign of an ally, you can also have a guarantee. But now you want to provoke Fang Fan, the devil, and drag me into the water? It's really ridiculous. You want to die, why are you pulling me? Qi Lian, the king of the Akabane kingdom, sneered and indifferently led the tens of thousands of troops of the Akabane kingdom to retreat to the side, directly expressing his attitude. I'm quitting too. We're quitting from the One God sect. At this moment, Fu Sui, the third peak goddess of Genji Shenzong, said decisively, and then a sneer appeared on her face. Priest Huangfu, we both belong to the camp of light. Isn't it good for you to behave like this? Tai Shuqian, the godson of the Alliance of Light Temple, turned darker and darker. At this moment, he suddenly felt what it means that those who are enlightened are more helpful than those who are unjust. In the past, he used various conspiracies to win over many forces, but after all, it was an exchange of interests, not a sincere alliance. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1904. Belong to the Light Camp. He, Grand Uncle Shenzi said it very earnestly. When I was forced to cease fighting with the Akabane Kingdom, how could Taisha Maiko not have thought that we belonged to the Light Camp? Now I remember it. Don't you think it's ironic? In this way, don't you think it's very ironic? Fu Sui, the goddess of the third peak of Genji Shenzong, spoke, and then strode away directly, without giving Tai Shuqian a chance to refute. Everyone is not stupid, everyone can see clearly what the situation is. It's just that sometimes I don't want to say it so clearly. The changes in the situation, to a certain extent, seem extremely real. Now the Akabane Kingdom and Genji Shenzong retreated separately, and only the Dark Temple and the Pure Sun Kingdom are left. Tai Shuqian, the godson of the Light Alliance Temple, scanned the surrounding area. Don't look at me, your Light faction has all withdrawn. My Dark Temple is the opposite of your Light Alliance Temple. Now that your Light Alliance Temple is going to fight, I will naturally give you a chance to fight. As He Tian, the godson of the Dark Temple, spoke, the smile on his face became more and more real. Various thoughts were churning in his mind, and his eyes seemed extremely excited. When it's my turn to fight to the death, I always feel extremely irritable, but watching others fight, the sense of joy is even more real. Thinking of this, the smiles on the corners of He Tian's mouth became more and more frequent, and there was even a vague sense of anticipation in his heart. After the fight between Fang Fan and Tai Shuqian, the godson of the Temple of the Light Alliance, is inseparable. Do you want to make a move? Catch them all? As Haishan, the son of the Dark Temple, thought about it, he suddenly felt even more excited. When Fang Fan and Tai Shuqian, the two most powerful opponents, are wiped out, who will dare to compete with the remaining forces in the Dark Temple? At that time, he will also be able to become a big boss in the Dark Temple. Thinking of this, Haishan, the son of the Dark Temple, became more and more determined to sit on the mountain and watch the tiger fight. Cultivators of the Dark Temple, retreat with me. Make room for them, and don't get in the way. As Haitian, the son of the Dark Temple, said, he hurried back, with a genuine smile on his face. Seeing the former so-called allies leave one by one, the face of Tai Shuqian, the son of the Temple of the Light Alliance, became darker and darker. At this moment, only King Cheniang's Jug King is left beside him. This is also the existence that has supported him from the very beginning. An extremely deep friendship has been established between them. King Nine Songs, you probably won't abandon me, right? We are the most solid allies, I promise you. As long as you can help me get rid of Fang Fan, I will help you unify the entire ruins of the gods, and then you will be the strongest king in this world. Tai Shuqian, the godson of the Alliance of Light Temple, took a deep breath, with a look of anticipation on his face. He. The same thing, Grand Uncle Shenzi has already spoken to King Qilian just now. It seems that King Qilian is right, you are never sincere. In this case, why should I cater to you? The king of the fruit of the gods also wants to fight for it. At that time, this king may be able to step out of the world and become the supreme true god after eating the fruit of God. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1905. Jug, the king of Chunyang Kingdom, thought this in his heart, and then his body trembled unnaturally, and greed gradually appeared on his face. Immediately, he walked out in big strides, leading the Chunyang Kingdom's tens of thousands of troops to retreat without delay. In a blink of an eye, the Grand Uncle Kayang of the Temple of the Alliance of Light became the polished commander, and the situation seemed extremely treacherous for a time. No. That's not the case, there must be something wrong. Damn it! Bastard! They're all villains. They're all bastards. Tai Shuqian, the son of the god of the Alliance of Light, gritted his teeth and said, his body trembled intermittently, and his complexion gradually became gloomy and cold. He folded his hands together in front of him, and his eyes flashed with murderous intent. At this moment, he could not wait to rush over and kill everyone directly. Kill? It's just that at this moment he has been imprisoned, and he no longer has the power to choose. There was a sneer at the corner of Fang Fan's mouth. In fact, from the very beginning, he never thought of making the situation so rigid, but Tai Shuqian, the godson of the Temple of the Alliance of Light, was jumping up and down, really irritated. That's why Fang Fan thought of knocking him down at once. Fang Fan waved the Zhantian sword in his hand, sharpening the sword and attacking at any time. Fang Fan, you, don't mess around. I warn you, if you rush over now, you will not end well. Huh, phew, if you rush over immediately, I will fight you. Damn it! Damn it! If you want to die, then I will accompany you. The tens of thousands of elites of the Temple of the Light Alliance around me are not something you can shake at will. Beside you are nothing more than the motley crew of the 100,000 Tian Kingdom. If you fight to the death with me now, the one who will be humiliated and beheaded by then must be you. Tai Shuqian, the godson of the Temple of the Alliance of Light, took a deep breath. Although he was panicked, he still had to show a very proud posture on the surface, as if others would feel a little panic and then give in. It can only be said that this guy's thinking is really wonderful, and he doesn't know what he is thinking about in his head. Is it? Tens of thousands of elites in the Temple of the Alliance of Light. Fang Fan sneered, and immediately rose into the air. I, Fang Fan, give you an order as the Deputy Third-Rank Acting Red-Clothed Archbishop of the Temple of the Alliance of Light, to withdraw from the battlefield now, and I will let the past go. I'm only going to kill Grand Uncle Kyung. But if you persist in your obsession, all of you will be killed. I hope you can think about it clearly. Is it really worth it to work for such a person? Murder and heart. When Fang Fan said this, the group of practitioners in the Temple of the Light Alliance was instantly shaken. They didn't want to fight against Fang Fan. If there were other major forces allied together before, it would be fine for them to coerce them into it and fight in a daze, but this is not the case at all now. Now it is not too difficult to make them give up anything. There is even a sense of irritability and anxiety in my heart. The fighting power shown by Fang Fan's major legions before made them feel terrified. Especially the low heavy machine artillery corps. Hundreds of 20 cm shells attack every minute. Who can withstand it? And that terrifying black rain that can directly devour flesh and blood. Even terrifying spells that can make them directly aged and even corroded into bloodstains. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1906. Thinking of this, they couldn't help but feel horrified, and they felt as if they were facing an ice cellar, and they didn't dare to charge forward anymore. My family doesn't beat my own family. Boss Fang Fan has already spoken, let's withdraw together. That's right, Mr. Fang Fan has already paved the road for us. What are we going to do on the cliff road behind? Looking for death. If you say that Grand Uncle Kyung really committed suicide, that is, he insisted on provoking Fang Fan, otherwise how could it have evolved into the current situation? That's right, everyone hurry up and evacuate, don't die without knowing how to die. Evacuate, at full speed. Sounds of panic came one after another, and the speed of the people seemed extremely fast. They retreated and huddled together to keep warm. Circumstances are stronger than people. Without absolute interests as the basis, how likely is it that you want someone to work for you? Especially at this time, even more so. Everyone focused on each other, and then, quickly evacuated. It turned out that there were tens of thousands of temple cultivators gathered around Tai Shuqian, the son of the Temple of the Light Alliance, and in an instant, only less than 30,000 remained. And the numbers are dwindling rapidly. Tai Shuqian panicked, and inexplicably felt cold sweat seeping out of her body. It was too late to say anything now, and she was about to collapse at every turn, and her mentality would burst. Come back. Come back to me. Come back to me. Aren't you afraid of the punishment of the Son of God? I am the Son of God of the Temple of the Alliance of Light. You, what do you want to do? Bastards. A bunch of bastards. You all want to die, don't you? Tai Shuqian, the godson of the Alliance of Light Temple, let out a series of screams, but no one answered at the moment. The scene seemed awkward for a while. At the critical moment, Fang Fan strides out. Here is the token of the Goddess of Wisdom Association. The members of the Goddess of Wisdom Association are prepared to obey the edict. Fang Fan suddenly took out a token with a simple and deep color, and then said earnestly to everyone. Having said all of this, it basically expresses the words very clearly. The token of the Goddess of Wisdom, really, so terrifying. Isn't this token always appearing in the hands of Dongguo Shenj, the president of the Goddess of Wisdom Association? Why, how did it appear in Fang Fan's hands? I heard before that the relationship between Fang Fan and Saint Dongguo is irreversible. It seems that all this is true. It's natural, otherwise, Dongguo Sage would never be able to hand over these precious tokens to Fang Fan. There are about 100,000 temple personnel who have entered the core area of the ruins of the gods this time, and our Goddess of Wisdom Association has about 10,000 reserve members among them. Although some were consumed in the process, there are still 10,000 people. The token is here, we must obey the order. Fang Fan acts as the Archbishop in red, and we are all members of the Goddess Society. Boss Fang Fan, me too. Add me. Soon, more than 10,000 practitioners gathered directly beside Fang Fan, and the excitement on their faces was extremely real. At this moment, they found an organization and saw hope, and the surging feeling in their hearts could not be expressed in words. They have extremely strong beliefs, and they have always been loyal to Athena, the goddess of wisdom. Compared with the entire temple of the Alliance of Light, such a small group is obviously stronger. Divine System of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1907. Holding the token of the President of the Goddess of Wisdom Association, Fang Fan has already shown his posture to the fullest. What should be said and what should be done also has its own charter. Fang Fan nodded secretly, the expression on his face gradually became indifferent. Originally, he had an army of 100,000 Tian Kingdom under his command, and now with the addition of more than 10,000 practitioners from the Goddess of Wisdom Society, his power has been improved a wave. On the other hand, Tai Shuqian, the son of the God of the Light Alliance Temple, is surrounded by only 20,000 temple practitioners around at the moment, and from time to time, some people will escape. The gap between each other is directly revealed. You will suffer retribution sooner or later. I will not let you go. You bastards. Now you betray me. In the future, I will make you unable to eat. Tai Shuqian, the son of God of the Alliance of Light Temple, was still shouting fearlessly, but unfortunately, it had become powerless at this moment. From Fang Fan's point of view, right now is a wave of massacres. Torture all dissatisfied. Kill Tai Shuqian, son of the Temple of the Light Alliance. The rest wait to retreat. Otherwise, kill without mercy. Fang Fan's lingering eyes glanced over, and the murderous intent flickered in his eyes. At this moment, this state has been vividly displayed. This Tai Shuqian has been targeting him since the very beginning, and tried to put him to death several times. Fang Fan at this moment will naturally not bear it anymore. It's time to come, always come. What should end completely. Fang Fan bared his teeth and grinned, his thoughts gradually vacated. Sen Ran's killing intent frantically gathered in front of his eyes, as if he wanted to kill everything in front of him completely. After a round of offensive, it is basically crushing. Fang Fan's tens of thousands of troops and practitioners fought against Tai Shuqian's 20,000 troops, basically without any surprises. Coupled with the long-range fire support provided by the low heavy machine artillery corps, the enemy's collapse will be even faster. Following this trend, massacring has become an extremely easy task. Fang Fan's gaze gradually focused on his eyes, and the smile on the corner of his mouth gradually became real. Fang Fan, what do you want to do? I am the son of God of the Temple of the Alliance of Light. I am the Supreme Son of God. Who, my master is the Saint of Zuj in the temple. The Pope also values me very much. You let me go, our previous grievances will be wiped out. If something happens to me, my master will not let you go. At that time, you will not be able to gain a foothold in the temple. You think about it, you must be killed. God's fruit, I'll give you all the God's fruits. I don't want it, can't I not want it? It's all yours, it's all yours. Don't stop me, I don't want to die. Tai Shuqian's eyes widened, her lips began to tremble, and her face was completely distorted as she spoke. At this moment, it has become an extravagant hope to say 1,000 words and 10,000. I can only stare at everything in front of me innocently. The sense of panic and anxiety deep in my heart is gradually gathering. I wanted to say something, but in the end it stopped abruptly, as if everything had been completely ended. Fang Fan gradually approached with Zhan Tian's sword in his hand, his eyes scanned the surrounding area, and the murderous intent was concentrated in front of him. Immediately, he indifferently waved the Zhan Tian sword with his finger. Clang! Tai Shuqian tried his best to stop in panic, and the weapon in his hand broke. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1908. Tai Shuqian, who lost his weapon, has been completely reduced to a massacred existence at this moment. It's time to end. Fang Fan bared his teeth and grinned, then slashed out with the sword again. Crazy, you crazy. I'm a ghost and I won't let you go. Ah. Click. There was a sound of bones breaking, and then a big head fell to the ground, and everything was completely over. The scene was once very touching. Tai Shuqian, son of the Temple of the Light Alliance, dies. The audience fell into a brief silence. Everyone's eyes focused on this one after another, and they didn't know what to say at this moment. The location of the practitioners of the Dark Temple. This Fang Fan is really not an ordinary person. He said to kill, but he actually killed him. There is no taboo. Although this Tai Shuqian is a bit shameless and despicable, but after all, he is the son of the god of the Light Alliance Temple, and has a Saint Master as his backer. This Fang Fan is so indifferent, it seems like a complete murderer. When you meet him in the future, you really have to be more careful. He Tian, son of the Dark Temple, squinted his eyes, secretly thinking in his heart, and then sharp rays of light flickered in his eyes. Such feelings gradually erupted in his mind, and at this moment, they have completely condensed into shape. A gathering place for practitioners of Genji Shen Zone. Fu Suiai, the third peak goddess of Genji Shen Zone, had a more or less happy expression on her face. I think they had some conflicts when they were at the entrance of the ruins of the gods. Fortunately, they didn't provoke Fang Fan too much at that time, or they didn't continue to trouble Fang Fan like an iron-headed child, otherwise she would have died long ago. On the spot, can you be lucky enough to live until now? Thinking of this, Huangfu Suiai inexplicably felt more emotions. For an existence like Fang Fan, if you cannot offend, try not to offend. Huangfu Suiai secretly warned herself in her heart. The king of Chunyang, King Zhug, and the king of Chiu Kingdom, Qi Lian, looked at each other. Although they didn't speak, they could see the color of horror in each other's eyes. These natives actually have no advantage in such a battle. Relatively speaking, their desire for the fruit of God is not as strong as that of the cultivators of other forces. But if they have the opportunity to get it, they will naturally not refuse it. At this moment, the red light around the fruit of God is becoming more and more dazzling. Red light, radiant. The fruit of God is about to ripen. What a strong fragrance! I don't know who yelled. At this moment, everyone gathered together, their expressions were extremely excited. On the sacred tree, the 9 divine fruits began to tremble violently, as if they would fall to the ground at any moment. Fang Fan narrowed his eyes, and the expression on his face gradually became solemn. It must be a lie to say that he has no feeling in his heart at this moment. At this moment, there can be no accidents. The overall situation must be under full control. Fang Fan took a deep breath, his eyes became sharper. His eyes scanned the surrounding area, focusing on the practitioners of the Genji sect and the Dark Temple. As for the natives of the Pure Yang Kingdom and the Akabane Kingdom, they were relatively less threatening. Boom! Rumbling. Suddenly, a thunderbolt landed from the sky, and delivered a crazy electric shock to the sacred tree, as if it was charging, and the 9 divine fruits were completely matured. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1909. Snatch the Fruit of God. The fruit of God is close at hand. Huckah, everyone, don't stop me, opportunity is right in front of us. Rush, all-out attack. The fruit of the gods is here. Everyone rush, hurry over. What are you waiting for? Whoever snatches it will own it. The scene once seemed extremely chaotic. With the treasure in front, who wouldn't want to snatch it? It's just that there is such a large area around the fruit of God, you are fighting for it, and you always want to run at the forefront, so naturally some conflicts will arise. Such conflicts erupted from the very beginning. They fought each other, and even fought each other, and the scene got out of control for a while. Gradually, the first blood appeared, the first casualties appeared, and then there was a chaotic battle. Killing has become an eternal theme. Grass. You pull me. Don't stop me from snatching the divine fruit. Do you have any vision? Go away, go away. What are you talking about? Do you think you are awesome? Go to the end of the sky. I am a member of the Temple of the Alliance of Light. The Temple of the Alliance of Light is amazing. All the sons of gods have been slaughtered by Fang Fan, you are so arrogant. Inflate in front of me again, believe it or not, I will kill you in minutes. Brothers. Me. Kill this melon. If you don't kill him, don't give up. Don't let anyone stop me. Rush, full impact. Fight to the end. Fight, fight, fight. The brawl begins. Fang Fan frowned, although he could still control the troops and practitioners under his command to remain calm, but in such chaos, he simply couldn't rush in to grab the divine fruit. And according to the current fighting situation, it may not be long before these fruits of the gods will be affected by the flames of war, and then directly burned. Everything else is easy to talk about, but not when it comes to the fruit of God. Fang Fan squinted his eyes, killing intent boiled in his mind. Tian Kingdom's army obeys the order. The members of the Goddess of Wisdom Society obeys the order. The top 10 legions obey the order. Heroes obey the order. Fang Fan snorted coldly, looking domineering. Initiate an attack without distinction. Those who block the way, kill them directly. Stabilize the battle situation within a kilometer away from the fruit of the gods. No one is allowed to approach casually. Fang Fan gave an order, and immediately led his troops into the battlefield, and then launched a full-scale attack. On the battlefield of killing, blood flows like a river. At this moment, no one cares about these anymore, they will only fight tirelessly. As if getting the fruit of the gods can achieve a complete leap in class, it looks extremely excited. Whoever steps into the battle line, dies. Fang Fan guarded the surrounding area of the god's fruit, and scanned the surrounding area. He has reserved the 9 god's fruits. You fight over me, the strong is king. The weak are the bandits, there is nothing to say. If you want to get something, you need to pay a certain amount of effort. There is no such thing as a free lunch. At this moment, under Fang Fan's overall stability maintenance, the battle situation gradually began to stabilize. When they saw that Fang Fan was leading an army in front of them, blocking their way to take the fruit of God, they immediately aimed all their guns at Fang Fan. Fang Fan acts as the Archbishop in red. What do you mean? Don't let us pass, do you want to take it all by yourself? Is your appetite too big? Haishan, the son of the Dark Temple, narrowed his eyes, flashing with murderous intent. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1910. In the face of absolute interests, the enemy's enemy can form an all-round alliance. Now if Fang Fan intercepts here and prevents them from taking the fruit of God, they will definitely form an alliance to deal with Fang Fan. This is different from the previous split with Tai Shuqian, the godson of the Temple of the Light Alliance. At that time, they all had the idea of fighting between the snipe and the clam for the fisherman's profit, and wanted Fang Fan and Tai Shuqian to have a life and death struggle. Come here for a bargain. But the current situation is not like this. To some extent, they are also on the verge of collapse. If they are not careful, they will collapse. Naturally, I dare not slacken any more at this moment. Humph. Our Akabane kingdom can't agree either. Prince Fang Fan, I advise you to get out of the way. Wouldn't it be better for us to enjoy these 9 divine fruits together? Qi Lian, the king of the Akabane kingdom, stood upright with a fat body. While talking, his eyes flickered with brilliance, and various thoughts were churning in his mind, making him extremely excited. At this moment, all kinds of thoughts are already hard to restrain, and I wish I could rush over to snatch the fruit of God now. The same goes for our pure Sun kingdom. I didn't intend to be an enemy of Prince Fang Fan when I came out of Chunyang kingdom, but if Prince Fang Fan is stubborn, then I can't blame the king for killing me. The king of Chunyang kingdom, Zhu Ji, licked his lips, and while talking, the excitement on his face was obvious, and various thoughts were rushing in his mind, and he was even more excited at the moment. At this moment, among the major forces, only Huangfu Sui, who is Genji Shenzong, has not spoken. Fang Fan smiled indifferently, he had already guessed about this situation. But since he chose to do so, there is naturally a solution. It's meaningless for you to fight like this. In the end, you may even destroy all these God's fruits. At that time, everyone don't want it? Can you accept such a result? Can you be willing? Fang Fan sneered, his expression gradually became extremely solemn. This is a very clear situation. We. Everyone looked at each other, more or less hesitant. They had to admit that what Fang Fan said was correct. These problems do exist. If the fruits of these gods are all destroyed, then what's the point of them fighting over and over again? Then according to Fang Fan's intention of acting as the Archbishop in red, how should we deal with it? Empress Fuxue, the third peak god of Genji Shenzong, narrowed her eyes slightly, and then strode over to ask. While speaking, his eyes kept scanning Fang Fan's face, and his intention was obvious. How to deal with? Haha, actually, it's not difficult. You can clearly divide the ownership of the 9 gods' fruits first, and then distribute the gods' fruits to various forces, so that you can compete within the forces. Fang Fan narrowed his eyes, and then followed up with a reminder. Of course, every word Fang Fan said at this moment has a purpose. Fang Fan would never do anything that was not beneficial. First carve up. That's an excellent idea. I have the largest number of people in the Dark Temple, and I'm not greedy. I only want 3 fruits of God, and you can divide up the remaining 6 among you. Haishan, the son of the Dark Temple, licked his lips, and then said greedily. There are only 9 gods' fruits in total, and he has to go away by 1/3 of his power alone, which is actually very greedy. After all, there are a total of 5 factions here, and the disbanded Temple of the Alliance of Light is also considered half a faction. In this way, each faction can almost get a demigod fruit.